we've got the new rockers, all nice and shiny and new there, you can see. There's not really much of a film of oil on this, so I think what I'm going to do, with my finger and my little tub of oil, I'm just going to go, before I put these on, I'm just going to put a little bit on each of the lobes, just to make sure that you don't want to start the day off shit here, really, let's be honest. And I'll probably put some, I'll do these ones at the end here, just to make sure we've got enough in there. No, but I mean, no one said to do that, that's just kind of my suggestion. And the other thing as well, of course, is just pop a bit on the riding surface and a little bit on the where that locates in the hydraulic lifter, and there as well, where that obviously locates inside the top of the valve seat there. So just to give that a little you know, because you're going to be spinning it. Obviously, you're not going mad, but you're going to be spinning it a little bit anyway when you're moving the cams round to you know, obviously to get the lobes out of the way when you're putting the rockers in. Okay, so here we go. They've all been oiled up now. It's going to be too hot, but as always, get a rag in here, because underneath this cam tower there's actually a gap that goes straight through and down into the front of the engine, which is the enemy, of course. So here we go. First one going in. And obviously you need to make sure that now the lobes, you can see the lobes are far away from the cams, and that obviously shows, so we'll get that in, pushing down. He slides in, back up, job done. As easy, oh, he says, as easy as that. So that's in. Happy days. Right, like I said, I'm not going to film the rest because it's just too hot. But I'll come back to you when it's done. So we're going to tighten up these. We're going to tighten up the cam nuts. We're going to just need to obviously lock them out, 100 Newton meters. Once that's done, we'll get the oil followers on the top there. Tighten up all the belts. In fact, I might not bother tightening up the belts because when I spin it over, I don't really want to run the engine too much. We're not going anywhere, and the oil pump runs off a mechanical drive inside, so it's not an issue. So yeah, we're getting pretty close to the end, guys, if I'm honest. Okay, something interesting that I didn't consider. Obviously, we need to torque down the bolts for the cam sprocket, but the flux capacitor is banging away, isn't it? Which is, yeah, I didn't see that coming, unfortunately. Luckily, I haven't connected it back on any of the levers on there or anything like that. So I think we've got a mount bolt there and a mount bolt there. So we'll just pull them off. We should move out of the way, and then we can torque that down. Anyway, there we go. Live and learn. Right, so we'll start doing this. This is obviously what we're using for the counter. That's 100 Newton meters. One last test. 100 Newton meters. Okay. That was easy. Okay, we'll just do the other one on the other side. So the next thing, we need to put the oil rail back on. Now, again, my friends from Febby you've got these, this is one of your oil rails here, and you can see you've got these holes. I don't know if you can see, if I hold it up, so you can that basically runs across the top, drops the oil down. So pretty easy swap out really. Just pull these bad boys off, making sure that you don't damage the making sure that you don't bend or damage or just generally wreck the rail. And what they do is they just send you the replacement plastic bits, which is, we'll give that a quick wipe. There we go, good as new. You can see that the outlet's there. Can you? Hang on, I don't know if you can see. That one. So the outlets for the plastic clips are slightly bigger. So then it's just a case, very simply, of slotting these on, and jobbed. Three. Now these actually have a, you can see that they've got a cutout. Sorry, you see they've got a cutout there. So these can only go on one way, which you can see there. So that slots in there. Same on the other end. All very nice. And then you just obviously need to make sure when you're sliding these ones into place, I mean they should self locate anyway, because you've got the lock-in fixtures on the other end. These should self locate here. Make sure they're on. So I don't know if you can see in there. Probably not, unfortunately, because there's not enough light. You can just see the hole there. So you just need to make sure that all lines up. Right, so we'll pop these back on. Yeah, and we'll get them in. So we've got this lined up now. They do actually, it's worth taking the time just to make sure that everything's in. And then they say use a, I unfortunately don't have a rubber hammer, so I'm just using the end of a, well, the rubber end of a hammer handle. You can see, just give them a little 1, 2, 1, 2, and you can feel it. It gets into place, so that is done. Right, see if I can zoom in a little bit on that so it makes a bit more sense, so you can see where it's seated. So you can see that one, you can see it's seated quite nicely in. That one as well. That one, and then obviously the one at the beginning there. You can see they're all, check on the end there, seated in the housing quite nicely. It's something that I realised I may not have mentioned. The reason these oiler clips, the reason you replace these is for exactly the same reason as the guides, because you know, over time they become brittle. Whoa, there goes the phone. Nice one. They go, they get brittle and loose, and they can, these bits here crack, and then obviously once they crack, they're not held on the towers. They fall off. You're not getting, you know, oil to the cam lobes or into the space, or more importantly into, well, I mean not more importantly, but into the, you know, when you're looking here, you're not getting the oil into the towers. You're not getting them on the lobes, because these drip down on the lobes, these go into the towers. So yeah, bang, really, if you don't do it. So for something which is cheap, and I think these are about, geez, I don't know, £2 or something, it's just something that's worth doing. Right, we spun the engine over to get the oil pressure up. It was definitely up because it was pissing oil out of these the rail, the cam rail. So that's good. Shows it's nice and clear. You can see there's, you know, bits still dripping on it now. So I'm doing a test. Doing a test with the go no go gauge. Now it seems that what we have to do with this, and I'll get a bit of a light on it, is basically, you can see that's the go-no gauge, that's the gauge there, it's on. And what has to happen, or what should be, let me just see. Right, that's what we're looking for. Hang on, hold it with this hand. So what we're looking for is that cutout is basically, see the cutout on the spindle needs to be level with the top, which it looks like that one is. So that shows that you don't need to adjust the shims, hopefully. So I'm going to go through, I've already checked 3 or 4 of them. I've done 2 on the right bank and I've done a couple on the left bank, and they seem okay. So yeah, so we'll test them out, but I think on the whole it's looking promising. I don't think we'll need to reshim. We've checked all of the gaps with the go-no-go gauge, and just so, I can't remember if I showed you this already, my mind's going, but this is basically, and what should happen is that if it's below there, it's not good. If it's above there, it's good. If it's on the edge or somewhere in the middle, it's okay. Now I've actually got one in the middle, and I need to check into it. I've got 2 which are a little bit saucy, but I've got 1 which is a little bit like that, which I'm a little bit worried about. I've got loads that are kind of borderline. I've got 1 other which is a little bit, I'm not too worried about, but that one I'm worried about. So I'm going to do a little bit of reading up and just see what the implications are of not fixing that, because I want to try and get it running, as you all know. Otherwise I'll have to, I mean, it's not a massive issue. I suppose I could pull out take me 2 minutes to pull it out and check. I'm pretty sure that I'm just looking now, yeah, the riders, that's all seated properly. It might just be that I need to get another shim for it. So anyway, I'll do a bit of reading and see what we find. Today's activities are, so we're going to get these tidied up. All around here you can see most of where we fired it up yesterday, and the oil was kind of collecting around. That's mostly stopped now. So we'll get these dried up, cleared up through there, and then we'll get our brand new gaskets put on. Now we've got with the kit came, a second, where's the kit? Yeah, so here we've got crush washers as well. So we've got new washers, these are crush washers, and we even bought a very small torque wrench, which I'll show you, because these only get tightened up to 3 Newton meters. Yeah, so we'll get on with that, get that done. Okay, this is the first rocker cover we're going to put on. I say to give it a clean, but these are actually pretty clean. It looks like they've been sprayed, so that black that you can see there looks like it's just a bit of overspray. So we'll give it a, to be fair, it's actually really clean. We'll just go around the outside where the gasket sits, just try and pick up any old crud, which is each gasket's actually slightly different. I think we just check. Yep, that's not the one. We push this in. Now, so that's, you can see, is located, and hopefully, obviously, when you tighten that down, that should pull it all into place. Like I say, it's like a 3 Newton meter ton. You've got these crush washers as well. So anyway, let's get ready with that. Come back in a minute. Okay, so I've moved the camera a little bit because I noticed in a couple of the videos that my massive mop of grey hair has been getting in the way, and it's quite difficult for you to see what's going on. So you're kind of up on the windscreen now, so it's difficult for me to sorry, something we did do. You know, we loosened off the gear stick filler. That's actually a bit of a godsend, if I'm honest, because that was a real pain to get off, and I didn't do that when I first took them off because I, just didn't know that would be. So we kind of slide in that way there, and then give it a little bit of a wiggle. It's a real pain in the arse, this thing. Is that? There you go, she's on. Now obviously what you've got to do, see, that feels to me like the gasket's come off somewhere, and that's obviously what you've got to be careful of. No, it's come off there. Right, it's come off. Okay, so back on. There's no real secret to this that I can see. It's just very trial and error. So we've got the bolts with the new washers. So you can, if you take a look down, you can pretty much line the holes up. What I've forgotten there. Alright, okay. So when we bought the kit from Mercedes Source, we bought this little beauty. Just a very, goes up to 9 Newton meters, 80 inch pounds. So these need to just be at 3 Newton meters. And everybody seems to make a big thing that this is super important that you don't exceed this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, right, so that's all torqued up to 3 Newton meters now. Something just to bear in mind is obviously you're using the crush washers. So you need to make sure that so when you torque it up, you need to obviously go back, keep checking, because obviously as the washers are compressing, they're becoming looser. You just need to keep going around until it's nice and tight to 3 Newton shaft. Rockers back on, all torqued down to 3 Newton meters. I'll probably recheck them actually after the first run up. So really all we're looking for now, we'll get these petrol pipes, bang, back into there. So petrol pipes, breather pipes, this breather pipe goes on the air filter. We need to set up we need to get the spark plugs in. We need to get the new distributor cap, new rotor arm, tighten up the belts, connect the flux capacitor lead in, and I think that's it. And then she's ready to start. Yeah, okay, crack on. We've got the connected up all those bits I was talking about, just so we're going to stick the plugs in now. But just something, and I'm sure you know, but if you don't, you don't. These are the plugs that we're putting in Bosch, which are recommended, and you can see there it gives, oh go on, zoom in. There you go, so it gives you the gap, gives you the plug gap that you need. Okay, 0.8, and it also gives you the torque as well, so 28 Newton meters. So we've got ourselves a set of metric feeler gauges, brand new, never used, bought locally, which I was very surprised to find. There we go. So yeah, we'll get on with the business of the other thing is as well on these particular plugs, is they've got, you can see the type of connection you've got. So what you'll just have to crack a idiot off camera, sorry. You can see you've got the two different ones now. Again, for those of you that know, and those that don't. You need to get a pair of pliers on that and crack that. In fact, we'll just do that now. So you can see, off she comes. Easy as that. Right then, so that's that done then. So we've taken them off, all the new leads, same configuration as the old one. So what we need to do now, I'm sure probably everybody watching this knows how to do this next bit. But I'll, Jesus, I'm making a pig's ear of this, am I? Hold still, there we go, right. So, just for this next one, new rotor arm, quite a simple replacement. Off she comes. I'll just check that nothing's fallen in there that shouldn't have done. Oh, hang on, no, I'm not in the way, am I? I don't think. Oh, there is a locating dowel. Where's that? There seems to be a locating dowel on the plastic, but there doesn't seem to be a locating dowel on there. Anyway, yeah. So that's it. Simple as that, guys and girls. Next thing then is to distributor on, and then we need to obviously feed these through. This needs to feed through under this here, and these come down the side of here, and we'll get them all cable tied off and make it all neat and tidy. Right, I'll come back when that's done. Design rotor arm, new leads are in, plugs are in, leads are in, everything's tightened down, belts have been tightened up, vacuum hose is on. Only one obviously that isn't connected is the ones to the breather hoses to the air filter. The connector for the flux capacitor has been put on. All the battery leads are on, batteries connected. Everything's out of the engine bay. I think what we'll do first, we'll just turn the ignition on. And the reason for that is because I just want to see, as the fuel pump kicks in, just want to see if any of these leak petrol or anything comes out. Doesn't look like they are. And I've got a horrible feeling the battery's dead again, because it hasn't really had a good charge. Let's try cranking it and see what happens. Okay, it's turning. I didn't hear any clangety bangety, so I would say that everything we've done that's mechanical is okay, or we've missed something, or we've missed something out. We'll just give it a minute. Let's give it another blast and see. No, it's not having that. Okay, all right. Let's give the battery a charge up and have a little poke round. Just check a few things. Great, we've charged the car. I'll charge the battery off the other car for an hour. Let's see if we have any joy. Oh, oh, you absolute fucking beauty. Oh, come on. No ticking, no clicking, no banging. Oh, yes. And that is a success. Now I'm waiting for this to warm up a little bit. We've got a lot of oil on these, exhausts. It's running a bit. Oh, it is running a bit rough actually. So I think what I might have to do is a bit later on invest in a timing gun and just maybe just check the timing. But yeah. Oh yeah, super happy with what's just gone on there. So that's that then. Everything all back together. Airbox on, air ducts on. Running like a dream, but does need that little. I will get that timing gun just to check it. And the only thing left over at the end of it all is a single washer. So I can live with that. Next job is rear suspension spheres.